TFL EV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle. Hey guys, check it out. This Mercedes has not one, but two badges. That means it must be very special, and indeed it is. It is the brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQE, which means, of course, it's electric, 500. And this is the E-Class of the Mercedes-Benz electrified lineup. Now there's an EQC, there's an EQS, and this slots in between. So think about it as a car that if Tesla had, would slot in between a Model 3 and a Model S. Now in this video, we're gonna do a complete inside and out walk around review of it. We're gonna take it for a ride. We're gonna talk about all the things that we know and probably some of the things that we don't know. So I'm gonna try to give you as much information as I can about this car, starting with the fact, of course, that it has about 300 miles of range and a 90 kilowatt hour battery. And it starts as the EQE 350, but this is the 4MATIC Reed dual motor, all-wheel drive version that gets 402 horsepower, and we'll do 0 to 60 in right around 5 or less seconds. So I would start with the front, but like its bigger brethren, the EQS, this car has no frunk. In fact, it has a no hood that is openable. Yep, this is just for service technicians. Now we've done a video where we actually went and opened up the hood of the EQS. If you want to see what's under there, basically a large air filter, feel free to Google that video and check it out. And the first question you might be asking yourself is, well, how do I get the important windshield wiper fluid into the car? And of course, Mercedes has thought of that by creating this little side panel that opens up and allows you to pour windshield wiper fluid into it. Now this car has aero wheels and we are rolling on 20s. So it's a pretty big and chunky tire. Let's see how much room is in the back. Now you may think this is a hatchback. It's not. It's more of a traditional sedan. Just like I said, the regular E-Class, with the difference being, of course, that, like I said, it's electrified. Now you can lower the back seats with this button. Let's push the button and see what happens. Look at that. And they drop to give you access for, let's say, skis. We're in Colorado. We're in fact at Red Rocks Amphitheater. So if you ever watch any concerts, you'll be familiar with all these red rocks. Let me zoom in on them. You get a great shot of the bathrooms there. How exciting. And the amphitheater is right there. You can kind of see it. Let me zoom in again. Zoom right there. And there's a concert today. All right, let's get back to the car. Let me close it up and let's see how much room is in the back. So, like I said, it slots right in between the EQC and the EQS. And just like the EQS and just like a Tesla, it seems like all electric cars now have to have, you know it, sliding door handles, which is all fun and games until they freeze. I'm sure Mercedes has worked on that. I'm just joking. What do you think of these red seat belts? That's the first thing I noticed when I got in this car. Once again, I am sitting behind myself. So let's see how much room I have back here. We're looking at 1 and 2 sunroofs. And sitting back here, it's a little on the tight side. It's certainly not as spacious as the bigger EQS brethren. It also doesn't have, check this out, the giant hyper screen that you get in the EQS, but it is an available option. Now, in terms of pricing, we don't have exact pricing, but figure the 350 will start at about $70,000. That's what Car and Driver says, at least. And this one, I'm suspecting, according to Car and Driver, $86,000. So you're looking at, when it's all loaded up, at least a $90,000 car. Mercedes has done something that Consumer Report has criticized, and I tend to agree with it. So let me show you. It's kind of a mixed bag in here. So very luxurious. Everything you see, everything you touch. Let me close the door and I'll show you what I mean. Even this Burmeister speaker cover is a work of art, but everything you touch is very soft. Of course, it's got this internal lighting that you can change to any color that suits your preference. but it doesn't have the hyper screen, but it does have these really, oops, that was not what I was meant to do, funky, I played with these last time, these funky cup holders. The way they work is, look at that, you push them down and they spin. I mean, the amount of engineering prowess that's gone into just those cup holders is pretty terrifying, isn't it? Oh, so the push is there, sorry. That's where the push is. I pushed in the wrong place. So let's start it up. It does have haptic ability with your finger to basically figure out whether it's you or not. But what it doesn't have, which I just did a review of the GLB recently, that I really miss, is hard buttons for the HVAC controls. So if I want to turn down the, click auto here, if I want to turn down the fan speed, I got to use these haptic controls. And they're just not my favorite, because if this screen goes bad, then you basically end up with no ability to control your HVAC. And in the middle of summer, or especially here in Colorado in the middle of winter, that can be a pretty important thing. Now, if you do hit this EQ button, it'll give you all the battery stats. So it says DC maximum charging at 134 kilowatts. I'm guessing that's about right. Mercedes is a little down when it comes to competitors on their ability to charge their cars quickly. And with 58% battery, it says I have 199 miles of range right now. I also have a range and battery percentage right there. I do like that. I'm a big fan of giving the driver as much information as possible. Let me turn down my music. That's also kind of funky because it's got these sliding, like I said, haptic controls. And actually that's not my music. I think that's the car letting me know it's in gear and ready to go. That's got kind of a funky new age sound tone playing in the background. One. Okay, that's where I'm at. So I think that's not me because I can't turn this down. There it goes. That shut it up. Thank you. God, that was a little bit annoying. So now I can think again. So what I do like about this, of course, are these rotary vents. I like the little blue lights around them. They are so sexy and so just a pleasure to move. And you can see that a lot of engineering has gone into this. Here comes another one. Somebody's waving to me. Hey, dude.
Hi, TFL.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. What do you think of it?
I like it. I like it a lot.
This is Mr. Robert Duffner from Chicago, my hometown. He says he likes it a lot. He's giving me a big thumbs up. I like that color.
It's a good color.
It's a good color. Yeah, there's a concert tonight.
It's a Christian rock concert.
It's a Christian rock concert.
Pray to God with your dirty car.
Pray to God to my dirty car. Well, let me finish my review, my man. Enjoy. Oh, look at that rear wheel steering. Hey, turn it more. You can. Let me zoom in. Hold on. Yeah, go for it. I think it's up to 9 degrees. Turn it the other way. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's one of the features. Rear wheel steering. Pretty cool. You know, most of the latest and greatest technology is in this vehicle. We're here, like I said, in Colorado reviewing these cars, so it's great to have another automotive journalist. Now, let's get back to what Consumer Report criticized and what I have to agree with. Just too many haptic controls. You know, Mercedes really had perfected the seat control. The way it used to work is if you wanted to move the seat forward, you'd push that forward. If you wanted to move it backward, you'd push that backward. The problem is I just went to push it backwards. This control does not move, but I pushed both, and so my little rest between my legs here, you can see it, went actually backwards because I touched both of them. And what it does is it creates a situation that Consumer Report says is distracting when you're driving because you're trying to spend a lot of time figuring out all the controls, trying to figure out, you know, how you change the radio station and how you touch it so that it does what you want it to do. And at the end of the day, it's just distracting. And, you know, the old control where this actually slid back or slid forward worked really well. And so I kind of feel like Tesla has made I dare say, legacy manufacturers reinvent the wheel. Another one of these is like, you know, opening up the screen. So that time I did it in my first try, but last time it took me like 5 tries to just brush that exactly the right way so that it would open up. These vents are beautifully that are incorporated into this, and you may be wondering, why does it have paddle shifters? Since this does not have a transmission, as most electric cars don't. And the reason for that is these are your regen buttons, so you have different states of regen. Right now I'm in park, so maybe I need to go into drive. Let me see if come on, go into drive. Go into drive. There we go. Go into drive. Normal I'll zoom in on that. Recuperation. Normal recuperation. Intelligent recuperation. No recuperation. Intelligent. And then if you want basically what now has become known as one pedal, you have to go to strong. Yeah, it's its own vocabulary. And we've got the weird music playing again. Please, Mercedes, you don't need this. And of course, there are different drive modes: economy, comfort, and sport, which I like. So let's just start driving before I go batty listening to this. Now, let's face it, Mercedes has been or is the oldest car manufacturer in the world. And when they start going electric, you know that this is not a fad, but this is the future. So the great thing about this moment in time where we're living through is that right now you can choose between the E-Class or the EQE. Really, the choice is yours. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I kind of feel like 10 years from now, this will be the only choice. Because California, of course, has said that they're going to basically make cars that have no electrification at all, illegal. Maybe illegal is not the right word, but not sellable in the state of California by 2035. So I think that ship has sailed. So we're now living in a time where you can still choose to go between either electric or non-electric. And that's great, because I believe it should be a level playing field and there should be choice. So how does it drive? It actually drives surprisingly well. I mean, that is the great thing about electric motors, right? Over 400 horsepower is something that slams you against the back of the car. And I don't want to start ripping corners here at Red Rocks, because that's dangerous. But the cool thing I immediately noticed when I drove up here, and there's a lot of nice curves, and you get a really good sense for how this car handles, is just how lively and alive this feels. The batteries provide a nice low center of gravity, so you feel like this car is kind of on its tippy toes, which is something that's very surprising for an electric car, as electric cars tend to be heavy and tend to push, or in other words, give you understeer. So when you go around a corner, all that weight wants to keep going straight. But this car seems to defy that, and I think probably one of the reasons, as you saw when Robert came by, is because it has all-wheel steering. So I think that's an important feature. So I'm gonna get on the gas here. Oh yeah, that's got to be under 5 seconds. Look at that, warp speed. Oh my. I'm going too fast already. Now, another cool thing, of course, is that you have all your driver safety, driver assistance features in this car. So like right now, the seatbelt just locked up on me and I can't unlock it. Yeah, I can't unlock it. That is there we go. Finally, I can breathe. But lane centering, not quite level 3, but Mercedes does have a level 3 autonomous system that works under, I believe it's, if I remember right, 40 miles an hour under the right conditions. But with this car, you do get over-the-air updates, so that is a possibility as well. Once again, another thing that the manufacturers, that is completely fake noise, by the way. Oh, wow. I feel like I'm in Star Wars or Star Trek. Number 1, make it so. I could do that all day long. And I do have full recuperation on, or one pedal. So yeah, it's a hoot. It's one step below the EQS, which came out, is it a year and a half ago now, and certainly one step above the C-Class. Is it the Goldilocks of the EQ series of sedans? Not too big, not too small, but just right. Probably. I felt like the C-Class was just a little bit on the cost-cutting side, and this feels like they've put a little bit more S-magic into it. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. what really surprised me is just how lively and natural this car feels when you start pushing it. So the brakes, even at one pedal, don't have that artificiality around them. And at 9/10, this car does actually steer and handle in a fun and entertaining way. Could I get past the haptic controls? It's hard. As a journalist, I drive so many different cars all the time, and so it's easy to get in a position where, I don't ever have a chance to actually learn the controls, and after some time, they become intuitive. But having said that, I also feel like while they may become intuitive, that feeling of mechanical simplicity, of mechanical perfection, where buttons click in a most satisfying way, is missing with this haptic system, and that's a shame. And that's something that will probably never be over-the-air updated in this car. And I wonder if you can get rid of that sound. I bet you can get rid of that sound. I think after a while, that would probably drive some people crazy. There we go. We get to do a little bit of more spirited driving, just to kind of get you a sense of what this is like. Not too fast. There's other people here, but just enough to kind of have the car start to work a little bit. Yeah, and the all-wheel drive is really doing a great job. Overall, I say this is the Goldilocks car, and if you're looking for a Mercedes-Benz that is just right, not too expensive, not too cheap.
Please log into your personal profile to access this data.
Hey, Mercedes. Hey, Mercedes.
Starting route guidance to Township of Sadie, Oklahoma.
Cancel. Well, this is cool. It also overlays the navigation onto the screen, which is pretty badass. Cancel. Hey, Mercedes, cancel. Please, cancel. I don't want to go to Sadie, Oklahoma. I don't know how Sadie, Oklahoma got into the system. Hi, I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to the concert.
Okay, no problem.
I'm just going to turn around here. And this is also a good test of the all-wheel steering. Yeah. I wonder what that says about the musician. Yeah, I'm making a U-turn. Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Cancel route.
Route guidance canceled.
Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help?
Tell me a joke.
German engineers don't joke with cars.
No, they don't. And I think on that note, we're going to call this review done. Thanks for watching. Remember, check out all TFL for all your TFL electric car reviews, normal car reviews, truck reviews, and of course TikToks, podcasts, and fun stuff from the entire team. Thanks for watching. I'm grateful that you guys took some time out to check out this car, and I will see you at alltfl.com. See you next time. Ciao.